Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk podcast. I realized we didn't do a disclaimer in the previous episode, so let me get out of the way. Pat, just go ahead and let's tell them what we are and what we're doing here.
Welcome to Let's Talk, a thought-provoking podcast where two men delve deep into their lived experiences to share insights, values, and ideas. Join us in and Pat on a journey through conversations that explore the nuances of life, offering unique perspectives shaped by their personal encounters. Through candid discussions, Let's Talk navigates a myriad of topics from relationships and personal growth to societal issues and beyond. With authenticity at its core, this podcast invites listeners to reflect, learn, and engage in meaningful dialogue. Tune into Let's Talk for an enriching experience filled with wisdom, humor, and genuine connection. Whether you're seeking inspiration or simply craving stimulating conversation, this podcast promises to spark curiosity and ignite new perspectives on the world around us. Join the conversation today and let's talk.
All right, now we got housekeeping out of the way. Tonight we have Z from the Life of Z joining us tonight. We have a few interesting topics we aim to attack or to converse about. Last week was interesting. We had Mona. We had audio issues. Thanks to Pat. They can always blame the red guy. So anything that goes wrong, I want y'all to know that the light-skinned guy is always at fault. Don't come for me. I'm not light-skinned. I am burnt caramel. Pat is red, right? We had a start. Z, welcome.
Good night, everybody.
It's good to have you with us tonight. Let's talk. The question tonight is actually kind of personal to me, and it should be personal to most people, I guess, when you become self-aware. So the idea of Z, what was the question again for tonight?
Is it better? Would you rather be blissfully ignorant or self-aware?
Pat, what do you think? You rather be blissfully ignorant or self-aware?
No. I prefer to be aware. Very self-aware.
Like, what does that mean to you? I mean,
it definitely you have to be accountable. I think that the majority of the world lives in ignorance and blissful ignorance. We live in a time where people might see something or hear something and they kind of take it as gospel and they don't question it, for me, I'd prefer to be self-aware. I ask a lot of questions. I like to understand what is going on around me and at the same time what is going on inside of me pertaining to my thought process, the way that I feel, why I'm feeling a certain way.
all right. I mean, let's talk about being blissfully ignorant. In most cases, I don't think people really aware that they are ignorant, and that goes beyond just relationships or feelings, even in terms of work or intelligence or emotional intelligence. I don't think people really are that aware to know that they're ignorant.
I think that's life here in general.
Sorry, go ahead, Z.
For me, that's a very general thing. Anybody that knows me knows, like, certain places I can't stand because of the blatant ignorance. Sorry. You go to like a barbershop, and that hyper masculine energy that you get, you walk into a place, like say after the Super Bowl, everybody is the utmost authority on every single thing pertaining to the game. They know every player, all the details, why this happened, why this didn't happen, and they like shoving it down your throat. They don't know these people from Adam.
Right.
But you can't tell them any different. And I feel like you experience this almost everywhere you go, for me, in NASA especially. Everybody's the utmost authority, and, there's no context behind it, there's no research, there's no real, factual information, but they speak in with such authority that they know it all.
I always wondered about that. Always wondered about it.
Which part?
No, it's like yeah, like they get so uptight and so like this is what it is. They get so passionate about it, you know. But at the end of the day, I guess everybody have their the things that they love and that they're passionate about in terms of what they speak about and
But then that's the next thing. If you're going to be passionate about something, if you're going to be
gotta be
the
factual.
right, you want to stand on the soapbox, you should at least have the background information before
True.
you put it out there.
True.
So let's apply this to relationships and feelings and dating in general. I'm trying to remember. There's a song by Betty White. And but y'all remember that old song? Or y'all too young to know that song.
Which song is it?
I mean, I would play it, but I don't
You
get
say
it.
by Betty White?
Yeah,
All right.
right. That White. Betty White is a comedian, right? White is a comedian. Well, let's use Cadillac Records because everybody knows Cadillac Records with Beyonce.
No pain or cleaned up on a woman.
None of them. I mean, y'all too young to know the song, and most people on the stream will probably know the song. But if we use Cadillac Record,
Okay.
I'd rather go blind.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you know, Beyonce did a amazing job. I'm not another Beyonce fan, by the way. I like 4 of her songs, but the song that she did in that, I would rather go blind. That speaks to being blissfully ignorant. That they would rather live in a state of happiness in their mind than to have to deal with the truth of the world that their relationship or their marriage or their friendship or whatever it is may not be what they think it is. How many of us love people that hard or love people that intensely that we would rather not know than to know and to have our hearts broken?
But conversely, how little do you love yourself that you want to put yourself to that on that level?
I mean, I could see it from both sides. I love myself that much that I don't want to be broken in that sense, right? Because now that level of brokenness requires you to have to question yourself and decisions that you would have made to allow yourself to end up in such a predicament or to allow yourself to be that involved with somebody that they can hurt you so immensely that you would rather not know than to know. So
I think it's par for the course. This like every day won't be a great day. Everything won't always be a wonderful situation and experience. I think that's just a part of love. But again, and you and I have had this conversation. It's always extremes, and I think when people get to the extreme, either one way or the next way, that's when it becomes a like quote unquote problem or an issue. But I think there has to be some happy medium. You have to. There's a give and take. There's a push and pull, and you have to know, how far to go with it.
I mean, at the end of the day, relationships is definitely about being vulnerable, you know. And I think a lot of people they're in relationships and they have these walls up. Yeah, just about vulnerability.
I mean, do you really want to be that vulnerable that you would rather not know? Like, imagine a level. I mean, I've been hurt. I knew in my old age what it was to be. I can use this term, gracefully broken, and to me, that's being self-aware. Okay, got you. But
Yeah, I don't know.
how many people actually, honestly want to know? How many people really want to know? I don't know if I would really want to know.
For me, I like to know, no matter how much it might hurt. I think that yes, honesty is important. Because and even though it might hurt a lot, at least you can know how to maneuver. Like if you really want to stay in it, if you want to let it go, you have the choice. You know.
I think that's a great idea, and I think that's a part of what comes along with dating. Because if you're dating a person, you're not married to them, you're not committed to them. So if you're able to walk away as adults, you have that conversation. What did I do right? What did I do wrong? What did you like? What did you not like?
Right.
And you now take that information you're now armed with to go into your next situation as you continue to date until you find that particular person that you're supposed to be with. And at that point, you should be armed with enough information and emotional intelligence to know how far to go, what you need to do next, and how you could probably better navigate the new waters, where, you know, where you end up next.
I mean, but
True.
that's a catch-22 type situation now.
Which part?
So some people gonna lie or they'll tell you false truth about why the relationship fails. So
And that's again the good part of dating, because the reality is, if you should be able to understand if this person is not the person who you feel like you need to be with, right? And you're now exiting the situation, or they are exiting the situation. And if you feel, or there's some inkling that, hey, that this person is being untruthful, then that's yet another indication you're not supposed to be with them. And two, you don't have to take you could take what they say, but take it with a grain of salt. It doesn't, you know, it's not gospel. But,
But-
you would have grown to some degree, I would hope, in the situation.
right, but do you always know when somebody's not telling the truth? I mean, that's the purpose of a lie is to be deceitful, right? So we won't, and I don't think in most cases that we honestly know. So my caution is, if I'm going to take these things that I learned in this relationship as it comes to a closure, and to use them as you say, you arm myself with this information to make a better version of myself. Am I honestly making a better version of myself? I can be legit, and this person may just be that messed up that my value means nothing to them. I saw a post, and I've seen this a lot over social media, that you can be the right person with the wrong person,
We can
right?
be-
And you can never be the right person for the wrong person. So it won't necessarily mean that there's something wrong with me. Something can be necessarily wrong with that person. My thing now is, how do I know? Like, because we go back to being, to what it is that we started, or what is being ignorantly bliss, that I don't know, that I thinking that I am it, and I am actually trash.
I don't agree. I don't think that's what that means. Blissfully ignorant. You are literally. It's almost like you just happy with whatever.
Right.
You could be a pig in
Right.
mud and thinking that this is the best thing in the world. You just so in love. You so enraptured.
Just going along with it.
You just having such a wonderful time. It doesn't matter. You could see every red flag in the world, but it means nothing. You're good with the situation. To me, that's what, you know, what that is. And I think that's where this being self-aware. I think that's why it's so important. You know, the terminology now. People saying you got to be woke, and I think it kind of it kind of coincides. You need to be aware of what's happening around you. You need to be aware of your feelings, the other person's feelings, knowing that, hey, if you could lie about something small, or you could or fabricate something that's tiny, what's going to stop you from doing or fabricating something that's much, much bigger?
Need to pull this mic closer down. But you've been really, really silent. I'm not used to the red guy being silent. When the red people silent, then I get a little worried.
What? I don't know. I mean, for me, I have to know. I have to know, and I don't know if that's a bad thing.
When you say you have to know what?
I mean, whatever's going on in terms of, you know, like how you say that with trying.
This got you stumped? This
Yeah,
got you stumped?
yeah. It's I don't know. Like, I'm literally at a loss for words at the moment.
All right. So a couple of weeks ago, I had a conversation with a friend, right, going through a breakup, and he was adamant that he had to get this information. He needed to know exactly what was the reason why she was leaving him and all this other good stuff or whatever, right? And I'm like, you realize that closure is a luxury. You're not always going to know. You have to be able to decipher some things. You also have to be able to be comfortable and I guess, emotionally intelligent enough to be able to walk away with whatever you have.
Right.
That closure is not something that's obligated to you. I don't know what happened in the situation, like if it was infidelity, if there was lying, if there was whatever. But the reality is it's coming to an end. So with that end, she didn't want to have the conversation. She didn't want to say anything. And I mean, he was pining and upset. And I just need to know. I need her to tell me what is what. You're not always going to get that. You're not always going to know.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, in that instance, I guess some people, and I get it. Like closure isn't two-sided, right? And I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions we have in terms of closure. That we believe closure has to be a two-sided conversation, And I guess for most of us, especially for me, one of the hardest things for me is understanding that I don't need the other person to communicate back with me once I need closure. It's mostly just getting things off my chest. But that comes with being emotionally aware.
But sometimes you can't even do that. You may not even have the opportunity to get something off your chest. You have to be okay with that. Because if I don't want to communicate with the person who's breaking up or who has to get this thing off their chest, then what you could do?
I guess at the end of the day, I mean, it definitely takes time to get to that point. I mean, at the end of the day, there are still some instances where people will not allow you that space to converse and, I guess, try to understand where it went wrong. So I guess you have to just come to peace with whatever it is that took place.
And going back to what was discussed 2 weeks ago when Arsenio said he is looking for her. He's looking for that one.
Right.
This is another, I guess, not so much a justification, but just another example of the fact that if you're going through this, then you haven't found that person as yet. Not to say that person doesn't exist, but this is just another reminder that, hey, you got to get back at it. You got to say the one. You got to try with somebody else.
But then now, I tend to be the advocate for making things work, right?
All right. Here comes the red man doing his red people things, and he about to say all the red things that you should give everybody a chance. You keep giving them chances, and everybody's good, and
but okay. So you want to find her, right?
We'll come back to define what is meant by her and my her. Right? We could have that discussion after you make your point. Then I'll clarify what it's meant.
But at the end of the day, you have the ebbs and the flows. You have the ups. You have the downs. You're trying to figure out the footing for this relationship. So it's like you're not gonna get the perfect her, right? You're gonna have instances where you have your protection mechanism, so to speak. So you might lie about something, right? And she might be, hey, listen, I love you. I want this to work out. You don't have to lie to me. Like, be honest to me with certain things. And so it's like, if you are somebody that, because I guess when it comes to lying about certain things, just trying to understand in my mind, but if you're lying about certain things, obviously you're trying to protect yourself, or you fear losing that person, right? Mr. Love is Enough. But yes, love is enough. Get away. So it's like you're not gonna always have those perfect moments. There's gonna be deceit. There's gonna be hurt.
No, Pat. You see, Z.I. brows went up to the top of his head. Pat, you making all red people look bad.
No, man.
And Ms. Murphy,
I
let's be clear. I am not red too. I am burnt caramel, not regular caramel.
Look at us on the screen. We almost the same.
Burnt. No, that's the lightning.
See, but you red too.
Listen. This light skinned fella here responsible for lighting. So if I look red, it's because the light skinned guy trying to make me look his color, so you don't feel alone.
Everybody's tolerance level is different. Then let's put it like that.
But when you're saying it comes with hurt and deceit, that's foolishness, bro. That's foolishness. Bro, betrayal? No, sir.
I didn't say betrayal.
But it's deceit.
Yeah, but deceit is
betrayal.
Really, that's again really extreme. I get the point that you're making. I just think that this deceit is like really out. If we doing deceit, then we really ain't supposed to be together. I get it. There could be a little white lie.
Oh, don't say white lie. A lie is a lie. If you can lie about how you feel to me, I don't care how small a lie is. A lie is a lie. And that's one of the biggest things for me.
So okay, fine. Our society, right? Being honest, most men will lie. about whatever it is. Who they talking to, who they aren't talking to.
Most men. Okay.
Okay, most men that I know,
Okay.
they will lie.
No, at least you won't say all men, because you know
I
this
can't say all
red
men, 'cause I don't
man
know
would
all
have say
men.
all men, right? This red man would have been there. All men is lie. But go on. Most
All
men.
right, most men that I know,
Hey,
they will
respect
they
the
will have some
red, eh?
level of lie. Same thing with some women. There's gonna be some level of a lie. That's fine. But again, to Patrick's point, there's the ebbs and there's the flows. You have your good days, you have your bad days. But if you have more bad days than good days, if you write a list and you realize that there's more things about this person that you feel that you're not compatible with, or you don't like, or you're not interested in, or you don't enjoy, then what's the point of putting in extra work and time when you could actually be doing that with someone who you're getting it back from, who you actually want to be with, and who actually want to be with you.
I guess for the sake of trying. I mean, you said, you know, we should try and try and try and try and try and try. You.
Nope.
So let me clarify what is meant by my her. So I don't believe that there's a single person in this world that was designed and built by God just for me. Right? Miles Monroe would have said it best, that God wouldn't give you this finished product, that he will give you the raw ingredients and allow you to cultivate and to grow and to mold these
I was
people
gonna
into,
touch on that.
right? So I do not believe that there's this one singular person in this world that God designed just for me. That is not my belief. So my her is not a finished product. I'm not looking for this perfect person. I don't believe that there would
Okay.
ever be a
So what are you
perfect
looking for?
person. I am looking for somebody that is willing and able to compromise. And when I say compromise, I do not mean giving up who and what they are and their core values and belief. I mean, it's somebody that is open-minded, that is able and willing to grow and to learn and also to teach.
Okay. So let's say now that this her comes into the picture, right? And yes, you reference Miles Monroe and the whole giving you the raw ingredients, right?
Right.
So let's say that you meet this her, you think, oh, this is her, right?
Right.
But these things that you might want, right?
Wow.
You have to pull these things out of her. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, Miss Dean, I feel you being willingly ignorant.
You
I
have,
mean,
you have to pull these
I
things.
feel
You
you.
have to pull these things out of her. So it's like, so when she does the wrong thing, so to speak, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you be like, boy, the hell with this, I out. But let's say now she runs back to you and she's like, hey, listen, I know I was wrong. Like, let's try to work through this, right? How many chances are you willing to give?
When she can run back where, sir?
Huh?
When she can run back where?
Run back, man. See, you ain't want your her, man. You looking for perfect.
No, I'm not
Them
looking
raw
for
ingredients,
no.
you-
See, you got to be mature enough to know that a bad
You ain't
time.
mature then.
No, hear me out, my brother. Hear me out.
I really want to hear before I respond.
A bad time or a rough patch in a relationship should not be an end to your relationship. If you believe that every time it gets rough you need to leave, then you need to leave me alone.
Okay.
So this idea of running back, if it was that severe that we could not stay together, there is no running back. If it reached that critical point that we need to separate, there's no need for us to be together.
I think again we gone to extremes, and with your point and with your description, I think that's great. I respectfully disagree. I feel like a lot of times people throw out these buzzwords and things that they think it sounds good. I want this. I'm going to mold this person. I'm going to do this and the next thing, and we're gonna build this thing. That's great and wonderful. But when you really get into the thick of things and you really meet this individual, if you want to spend time with them or get to know them or cultivate the relationship, you gotta. There's some stuff you gotta do. And there's some things you got to be prepared to deal with.
Okay. So, Oh man.
All right, so we watching a red man struggle, and you know
Well,
it's not very, it's not it's not all the time. Red people struggle, but they struggle in the night.
Yes, but see, he
Sorry,
looking for perfect for real.
Yeah, I'm not looking for perfect. I'm looking for compromise.
Oh,
And when I say compromise, I mean somebody that's willing to teach, somebody that's willing to learn, someone that is capable of understanding, somebody that understands that an end is an end. And that's a hard stop for me. Like, if you really need to walk away from me, you need to keep walking.
but yet again, I feel like you always go to the extreme. Like how you get to the end before you even get to the beginning.
But that's not me. See, I'm just saying that's me,
See,
right? That's me. If I am with somebody, and that person feels like we need to end, not my choice, because my tolerance level is high. It takes a lot, and I mean a lot, for me to walk away. If I need to walk away from you, that means I have tried endlessly. I think my communication skills are top notch. A lot of people wouldn't agree with me. I am super expressive, right? Like, I will tell you, I will let you know, babe, I'm at a 10 today. Like, my energy level is low. I'm not in the best of mood. It's been a really rough day.
Okay,
you know, I'm
I
not
feel that,
right.
yeah.
Like, I'm gonna let you know where I am. I am that expressive. I communicate that clearly. There's no assumption to think that something is going on with me, or I don't know why he's acting funny. I can let you know straight up from the first conversation. On the minute things goes south and my day starts to trend down, me like, hey babe, listen, today getting really, you know, I can need that extra coffee, maybe a little Kahlua in that later, but you know, today a little rough. I can tell you what's going on with me. Pat, I want you to tell us how this looks from a red guy perspective.
What the flip?
You know, tell us from a red guy perspective.
It's like
If
the reverse racism.
Okay. For me,
you see Miss Murphy say red people can't take much. I agree. Red people can't take much.
no,
She
Shanae.
done
I
with
take
you?
I can take a lot.
It's glasses have to come off of this one. See, you couldn't even see no more.
I can take a lot, right? And it's like, for me, I'll give chances upon chances upon chances, because it's like we live in a more or less microwave relationship. You know, and the thing is like, back in the day when you look at our grandparents or even our parents, you know, they've been in 20, 30, 40, 50 year marriages, 60, 70 years even, right? Those who get to live that long. And you can't tell me for 1 minute that they haven't gone through some serious struggles. Serious struggles. Lying, infidelity, this, that, the next thing, right? And I know people would be like, oh, that's because women back in the day, you know, the men were the providers, the protectors, whatever, so they didn't have no choice. They were the home, they had to stay, right? They didn't have to stay. It's a choice.
I firmly agree with that. I think everything is
It's a choice. So it's like for me, it's like we're so quick to throw away people, right? We're so quick to throw away people because of the little challenges, right? So yeah, for me, if I'm in something and we might have our disagreements, whatever, I am going to if they walk away from me, and let's say weeks, months, years, they come back and they want to talk about it. They want to figure out where they may have gone wrong. I am going to give them that opportunity, because see, the thing about it is, we claim to live in this Christian society, right? And we talk so much about grace and mercy and forgiveness. But it's like, we don't want to forgive. We don't want to give grace.
Who's the forgiveness for though?
Forgiveness is normally supposed to be for us, for ourselves.
I just want to be clear.
It's supposed to be for ourselves. But at the same time, it's like, okay, you know what? Yeah, you hurt me. You hurt me. But at the same time, let me hear what was going on with why did you do this?
Mm-hmm.
How can we move from this? Okay, if we're not going to be in the if obviously if I'm in a relationship, then it's like, okay, you know what? Let's try to if what am I saying now? If I am in a relationship at the time, then obviously we could just talk about it, get through it, and okay, cool. Now, if I'm not in a relationship,
And I agree with Ms. Miller. Just so you know, it's not a fair comparison, right? The previous generations,
yes,
their dynamics are different.
Dynamics
Yes.
are different because
Very,
why?
very, very different.
The dynamics are different because women now can do whatever they provide for themselves. They do everything for themselves. So it's like, yeah, okay, you ain't gotta put up with the bull crap, right?
I agree. So you
But-
almost make amends to
but-
fix it. Sorry.
But at the end of the day, in order to create a diamond, that goes through a whole lot.
See, we
There's
ain't
a
talk-
whole
we
lot of
ain't-
pressure.
we ain't talking about diamonds, man. You like-
Yes, but it's
every
true. You can. How could you be a skilled sailor if you haven't gone through some stuff?
exactly.
So let's
every
just
human
be
being-
clear.
go through some
No,
stuff, and
no,
I'm sure- it
no,
wasn't a
no,
perfect-
no, no.
No,
See,
what?
I don't subscribe to this. I don't believe everybody in this world would have hardships. This idea that every single human on this earth will suffer, some people will never
It's
know.
relative, Arsenio.
Right, but even then,
Very
It's
rare.
relative.
what we're referring to, that compression that it takes to make a diamond. Even diamonds, and most diamonds have flaws. After
they
it's
do.
went through that rough, rigorous process.
That shows you that nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect, and so therefore, it's like I know for me, when I frig up, I want chances. I want chances, and so I will never deny anybody that
People
walks
away
into my
quickly.
life, whether it's on a friendship level or a romantic level. I will never ever deny them that opportunity to say, "Hey, I messed up. Can we talk about this?" Right? And again, the reason I keep going back to the Christian standpoint is because this is the nation that we live in. We live in a quote unquote Christian nation. And so therefore this is what we practice in religion. And so it's like the scriptures talk about the forgiveness 70 times 7. No. You go as much times as you want. At the end of the day, the same grace that I want, I am going to give.
See, I agree
That's-
with Ms. Miller, and I'm saying this over again.
That's-
When I walk away, this is not the first instance or the first thing that went wrong that I'm just going to give up and just run away. That's not what this is. That
nobody's
repetitive,
saying-
when it's really repetitive, right? Like, I don't expect to be engaging with a child. I don't expect to be engaging with a child. But that communication needs to be, if you can't communicate with me, don't waste my time.
Well,
Like,
I think
I
that's
can
the crux
bounce.
of every relationship, and that goes back to the original point. Like, you have to have that communication. It have to be something. You can't be with this person to talk. Even like Patrick said, whether it's romantic, whether it's a friendship, if there's no open dialogue, if there's no good foundation of camaraderie, conversation, whatever you need to build off of, to learn the person's personality and understand who they are and what it is that they bring to the table versus what you bring to the table, then it's all for naught. It's like literally wasting time. But I see it from both sides. And if you are being honest, Arsenio, yes, you it won't be the first or second time. It would have been, I would hope, a series of events that would have led you to feel the way you feel. However,
Right.
are you actively communicating with this person and letting them know, hey, I do not like X, Y,
Yes,
Z.
definitely. So,
And then hold on.
Uh-huh.
But then when they come with the same thing, hey, that's fine, but you do this, that, and the next thing, and I can't take that. Are you able to receive that information and really?
yes. Because I love growth. I genuinely want to learn. I genuinely want to be a better person. I want to be a better mate.
Well, this
Right, so-
this is not said in disrespect. I just feel like no, I'm being serious. I honestly
life is
feel
the-
like a lot of times people say things because it sounds good,
Right.
Until you are actually in it.
No, but
are
you know
in
me.
that
You-
exact situation,
Right.
And then you really see how you're gonna react.
I think I'm okay. I think, and I can't be wrong because I only can speak from my perspective, and I get it, right? They say it's three sides to a story: your side, their side, and the truth somewhere in between. So I can really talk from what I perceive and how I would have seen things and watched some things in my life play out. I think I'm genuinely open to criticism, constructive criticism, not criticism built in a way to hurt. Right? Like, don't just say mean things, because you believe being blunt and direct is the most effective way. The saying goes is complete honesty is brutality. And I firmly believe that. I think there should be tact. There should be tact in the way that we communicate.
Then
Delivery
you're
is
not-
key.
then
We don't have to.
You're not getting what you're asking for then. Because you have to be able to take it.
Yeah, but I'm not saying be mean with it.
I
I could.
no.
You
I-
could
I
tell
get it.
someone
You
they
could-
smell bad without being like, "Boy, you smell like poop."
Well, it depends on the day of the week, but yeah.
I'm just saying, like, there are better ways to. I'm just saying, like, you could communicate with people without having to be mean. And if you
I
reach the
agree with
point
you.
that you can meet that the only method for you to communicate with a person is to say something harsh, then go to
agree
what
with you.
old people say. It's when you don't have nothing good to say nothing.
No. If you and I are, well, let's take it to a friendship level. If you and I are friends, right?
Yes.
And it is a difficult conversation, and this is something that could potentially be to your detriment or to your harm, whether it's physical, emotional, whatever, mental. You want me to just hold that inside and not say anything because you may be vulnerable and you can't handle it? When I would be, in my mind, be doing you a disservice?
No. I think it's delivery of that message.
Again, I've acknowledged that. I
Mm-hmm.
said the delivery can be, we could change the delivery, but
Right.
it does not diminish what needs to be expressed.
I agree. Right, but they say complete, brutal honesty. Let me not get the saying wrong. Let me look it up so I could quote it correctly. I don't want to
I get
misquote
the
it.
context, but I mean, I'm just
But
saying,
it says
like,
that
my
if
friend,
you
I
are
can tell
brutally
I can
honest,
tell
they
you
saying
what
that's brutality. It's not, it's not the best way to communicate. So I don't want to disclose this. So my upbringing was rough, and I didn't come from a very loving environment. So the only thing I knew growing up was brutality. I
Mhm.
only knew harsh words and criticism and you are not enough and you will never be enough.
Mhm.
That's what I grew up with, and
Mhm.
that did not work for me. That method of communicating with me did not inspire me to change, to be better, to do more, to try harder. That broke me in a way.
Okay.
It wasn't until I had positive people in my life
Mhm.
that started to say, "Listen, bro."
Positive?
Wait, hold
Yes,
on. Hold
I
on,
think
hold
I
on,
am.
Hold on.
It wasn't until I had positive people in my life
Mhm.
that said the same things but said it in a different way. Like, bro, you can't be falling asleep in class and expect to learn anything. Or, bro, you can't be cutting school and expect to get anything. And, bro, you can't be drinking and smoking and think you're going to be someone or be something. It wasn't until I had people that changed the delivery that it started to make sense to me.
So-
I get it. The initial people that would have said these harsh things were probably saying it from a place of love, and maybe that's how they express love. But it wasn't until somebody said it in a way that actually felt like love that it was enough to be like, "But yeah, I shouldn't be smoking. I shouldn't be cutting school. I shouldn't be ducking class. I shouldn't be hanging out with these niggas. I shouldn't be doing these things that." Maybe I do need to look at myself for a minute and be like, "Bro, is this what you really want? Like, is it going to give you the outcome that you need?"
So in retrospect, looking at yourself now versus the person you were then when you were getting that information, how do you feel about yourself now?
I think I'm in a better space mentally. Physically, I'm on my physical journey
Mhm.
to not be, I don't want to be big and fat.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to be big and
So
fat, but
let's break that down a little bit. So you had this rough upbringing, right?
right.
You went through this time and you said you felt like you were broken or almost broken.
No, I was broken.
You were broken.
Oh, gee,
Okay,
I
fine.
still got a good level of brokenness to me.
You was gracefully broken?
No, I
All
became gracefully broken as an adult. As a child and these things, I was just broken.
Okay,
Wasn't
so
no grace to that.
We still
Just
going
broken.
through the phases. So
Right.
as a child, you were broken. You felt that you went through whatever you needed to go through, right? You then the gear switched. You got people who are pouring into you positively now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's correct.
You're getting the information that you need to get. You're hearing what you need to hear, and now you are where you are. You have what you have. You have your children, you have whatever is going on, and you're a smart person, you're doing great things. We can still liken this back to the original point that Patrick made with the diamond. You had to go through some stuff. You had to go through the fire. You had to be tested. You had to prove yourself. You had to be pushed, prodded. Who you are was always who you are now is who you were always supposed to be.
I don't know if I could agree with that statement.
You don't have to agree with it. This
So
is
I've
how God
seen
made you were already what you are dealing with now. This was
See,
already
we going-
predestined.
So yeah, this predestined thing, right?
It's the truth.
And-
There's nothing we can
and
change.
I get
you
it.
can't change it.
I
This
don't
is who you were supposed to be.
see-
You were supposed to be in this moment right now doing what you're doing right at this very
I don't know
time.
if I don't subscribe to that.
You don't have to subscribe to it. It is
I don't
facts,
see.
facts of
Not a
facts.
red. I have two of them looking at me sideways.
Facts.
I have two of them looking at me sideways. Okay.
I ain't looking at the screen.
let me say what I mean when I say don't subscribe to that, right? I believe we all are free will, and I believe we are given options, and I see it like a road with two paths, and I believe every single road we go down have two paths, and each one of those paths will take you to a different destination. I think just like parents, we give our kids option, and we hope that they make the right decision. We already know where both paths would lead. That doesn't mean that we've already determined where our kids will go. We have hopes, and we wish that they would follow our advice and our guidance so they can end up to the place and go down the path that we know would lead to happiness and success. That's how I see what God has laid out for us. I don't think that it's predefined for us to take the hard road or to go the hard way. I think we make those decisions because the opportunity is presented to us, and we have to suffer the consequences of the decisions that we make. And it's the same thing with our kids. We give them an opportunity, and if they make a bad choice and they got to suffer the consequence, we will do our best to soften the blow of the consequence that comes from the decision they make. And I think it's the same thing with God and our relationship with God, that he would do his best to soften the blow of the decisions that we make. But I don't think, and I don't subscribe that everything is predefined and I have no choice and I have no will, that everything that happens, because I know some people that came through the same system that I would have came through, and these were the top athletes and these were the smart kids in school, and if I look at them today and where they are in comparison to me, to the child that should not have made it and should not have had any level of success, I hurt for them, because I feel if they were given the same tough love that I would, and that when they were given, if the roads were described to them, they were given this idea that no matter which road that they take, that it would lead to success. That you could take the long road through the bumps and stuff, and success is on the other side of that. Or you could take the smooth road, and success is also on the other side of that. One is just a longer journey. I think that's crap. Some people will fail. Some people will never make it. Some people will never have success. Some people will never have kids. Some people will never have marriage. Some people will never know love. Some people just will not succeed in life. And I don't think that it was predefined or predestined for them to fail in life and to not have happiness and to not have success. Sometimes it's because of lack of opportunity, but in most cases, these are consequences of our own decisions. So I get it, but I don't subscribe to those things that it's just predefined that it's going to be what it's going to be. I don't believe in I have c'est la vie tattooed on my hand, but I don't believe such is life.
No, and and again, I hear your point. I accept it, but I still disagree. It's the only people that don't know what's going to happen is us.
That's right.
And you saying predefined, I'm saying predestined. This is what was already put out there. And I'm a believer, and I
Right.
believe that I'm made in God's image and likeness, and this is what he wanted. This is the time and space that he wanted me to be in and to exist in, and I know that I'm a blessed person, but I think that's because I believe that. Nobody is going to have the same, like you said, there's no book, there's no manual. Okay, if you do these steps, these 5 steps, you are guaranteed success. You will have bums on the street. You will have persons who are molested. You will have people that are abused. Unfortunately, that's what their life is, but it doesn't mean that their life is of no value. It doesn't mean that things can't change.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that they are not loved as
Right.
people. It's just the circumstances. What you do with your circumstances is where the choice comes in.
But even then, right? Like, it's like, okay, so for you to be able to properly handle your circumstances, you need to have the correct tools. Whether it's being emotionally stable,
Faith.
but some kids don't have faith. See, I get it. Like, our upbringings are different, and what you were exposed to, I wasn't.
Agreed.
So in terms of faith, it didn't exist in my environment. It wasn't this great thing, right? There wasn't this level of hope that existed in my environment. It was, listen, you here, and when you were there, the world is going to chew you up and spit you out.
So I've asked you this question multiple times, right? And I get it. I'm not, and I'm in no way,
No, we
shape
good.
or form,
No, we good. We
trying
good.
to diminish
No, we
anything
good.
that has
Let's
happened
go.
to you. So
Let's
I
go.
just want
Let's
to make that extremely clear.
Z. Let's talk.
Fine. So that was then. You are now at the age that you are. I don't know if you want the world to know, but you are at the age that you are.
Yeah, 106. It's cool.
Okay, you whatever age you choose to be today.
Today,
right?
I identify as 106.
Great. So, are we going to continue to live in that place where we were before, or do we take the lessons that we learned to get us to where we are now and continue to build on top of them? I can't pine and worry and fret about what happened yesterday and 10 years ago and, oh, this person really was beating me down, or so-and-so stole my lunch
Right,
money
right.
in school 17 years ago, and that really, that triggered me. No, I can't deal with that. Where I am today is I only have today. I only have right now. I have to make right now, this very moment, work for me. I cannot worry about what already happened. I can't, because guess what? I can't change it. So what sense of wasting time on yesterday?
But
I could learn from it. I could grow from it.
I get it.
I could make smarter decisions.
And like Ms. Rollins say, we shouldn't let past define who we are. But that's what makes us who we are, and that's
can
what keeps
shape
us.
you.
But
It
it
can
keeps us.
shape you.
It keeps us grounded. You
It
know?
does keep you grounded. But
Because
you
if we
can't-
forget, I
but
think if we
you
forget,
can't stay there.
but if we forget where we
Nobody
came
said- I
from,
never said forget.
I'm just saying, like people have this perspective, like leave your past. Even in the Lion King, they love the Lion King. Like, leave your past behind you. And for me, that is my anchor. Like, that gives me context, right, to where I am, so I could see the
What-
difference.
what-
That allows me
You,
to express gratitude.
You-
Right, that's where my gratefulness comes from, is by looking back and saying, boy, I remember when and it's not of dwelling in that place, but that's how I measure my success, and the gratitude. Like, I look at it and I say, boy, I really remember when I couldn't, and I really remember, and it humbles me. It humbles me. I don't know what it does for other people,
You
but
only have to
it
acknowledge it.
humbles me
You
greatly.
You only have to acknowledge it, but you can't wallow in it. You can't
Sometime,
dwell in it
like-
because it's going to bring you down.
he made a point about his past being his anchor. What is an anchor? An anchor is a weight
It
that
weighs you
holds
down.
you, that keeps you in a position.
It also keeps you grounded in a storm.
Yeah.
And during rough times. And it also allows you to stay where you think you need to be. And when you're ready to move on, what do? I'm a boatman. So we
Okay.
can talk anchor, we can talk
Hold on.
anchor.
And
Wait,
you just answered
wait.
yes,
When
sir.
is, I
But
just
wait,
said,
ready.
when
Hold
it's
on,
ready
you're
to
ready,
move,
and you're not
you put
ready.
up anchor, you put up anchor and you move.
Hold on. But when a ship is built, is that supposed to stay in port? No. The ship is built to go out into these rough waters, right? Yeah, the anchor is there so that if you are
That's
in
a
a
fail-safe.
storm, it keeps you there for a minute, but you can't stay there.
But not just in a storm, it allows you to stay where you need to be or where you want to be.
But in that analogy, boats are not built to stay in one place.
Some are.
Okay.
That's fair. God should be the anchor, not the past. But I mean, but he's the author of my book and my story. He's the author of my past. I made some hard decisions in my life that brought me to where I am, and I am grateful that I didn't meet my demise at a young age. That I was able to even have this moment, to be sitting with this
Because
red,
this was destined.
this
You were
extremely
supposed to be
red
doing
guy,
this.
and then the next guy over there from the life is he was travel the world and live life that we all wish that we could have. But yeah, I mean, I am grateful. But now it really got me thinking, if I back to the original question, and boy, we came far from that original question, is being ignorantly bliss, right? And
Blissfully ignorant.
but it brings bliss. I mean, I think it's okay, and I guess this probably isn't right, but I think it's okay for some time to ignore the harshness of the world and to just live in the moment and to enjoy those moments of happiness and just ignore that the fact that the rent is due and that the light needs to be paid and the car ain't working properly. And in that sense, then ignorance and bliss, I think, is important, because if we allow those things that can lead us down these depressing paths, then we can find ourselves overwhelmed and consumed by the world and reality of the world, that the world will consume us and chew us up and spit us out if we're not careful. So, Mr. Redman, you've been really quiet tonight. I'm not used to red people.
Man, I'm listening. I'm gathering information. But I mean, at the end of the day, for me, it's always self-awareness. I sometimes I do sit and ask myself, and this is in regards to every single thing
Right.
that happens in my life. It's like sometimes when I look at people, how they just basically how they go about their life, and it's like just adhering to the societal norms, right? And I'm like, I just wish I could be ignorant, like just not be so
in tune, so aware,
right. Like
right?
sometimes
just want to be able to turn it off.
Because see, the thing about it is, because with
Right.
being self-aware,
Right.
and with being like basically questioning everything, that responsibility, because I finally understand the scripture about studying to show yourself approved, or
right.
even just talking about truth is like, once you know the truth, whatever your truth may be, you can't go back to being blissfully ignorant.
Exactly.
You can't. Once you know the truth, once you know that the quote unquote right thing,
Right.
you can't go back to being ignorant about it, because it's gonna pick at you. If you're just ignoring, it's just gonna pick at you. So for me,
But somebody would have said earlier.
is key.
Let me see if I can find the post.
Today in church, the word that we had was
See, let's go back to what Miss Dean would have said. Some people are willingly
agreed. And that's
ignorant.
what I'm saying. And this ties in. One of the points that was made today in church was God does not care about preparation; He cares about performance. So, like Patrick's saying, you could have once you get that information,
Right.
That's great. Now, what do you do with the information? So yes, we had some trauma, we had some pain, we had
Right.
some bad days, we had some down times.
Right.
Yeah, and yeah, you have your fun, because you can't wallow in everything every day.
Right.
But we're adults. This life.
I don't want to be
You gotta
adult
make
no
it-
more.
You gotta. Well, you don't have a choice.
Can I take it back?
No refunds.
I remember.
This is where you are.
I remember.
This is the card you have. This is the hand that
I
you
just-
played, and now you gotta figure out the best way to win with this hand.
Yeah, I just shared a meme the other day, and it was really funny to me. And it was a baby Yoda. He's like, I don't want to be a big person no more. I was all thinking, I can't wait to be big. I want to go where they go, and I want to drive my own car. In a minute, we able to drive. It's like, I don't be on this road.
Yep.
I don't like driving. I don't like going all the time. Like the illusion of what
life.
happiness is as a kid is the idea of freedom, and the idea of choice, and then realizing that it really sucks to be in a position where you can make choice and you have so much freedom to make those hard decisions. We have 2 more minutes. We can wrap it up. Any closing words? Let's go to Mr. Redman first.
Why you put me on the spot like this?
Let's go, Redman. Tell them, shut them, Reggie. Shut them, Obisu. Shut up.
What my final thoughts in self-awareness. I mean, I basically gave my final thoughts about being self-aware versus blissfully ignorant. I think I stand right there. That's me. So we'll turn it over to Z.
Let's go, Z. What's your closing words? Closing words tonight.
to wrap up everything that I guess that we went over tonight. For me, I just don't believe in wallowing. I can't. I know what it is to be in a sad or depressed state, and it's not a great place to be.
No.
There's too much good things in the world. There's too much good people. There's too many good experiences. Too many places to see and things to do to just sit down in a low place. And I know I keep bringing it back to God, but He didn't want us to be in a place of suffering. He wanted us to live happy lives and to be, and experience things that are good for us. So I guess as best as possible, no matter what it is, and as cliche and corny as it sounds, when life gives you lemons, you just gotta make lemonade.
Yeah.
And if you really want to get fancy, you could throw some Tito's in there. But make the best of what you got.
Throw some Tito's in. All right. I don't have any final words today. I am Mr. 101 Ways to Fail. I was told I shouldn't describe myself as such, but I am very self-aware of the mistakes that I've made in life. And I think I only need one win. Right? I can fail 101 times and I'll get up 102 times. But thank you guys for watching. It's been awesome. Very, very good having you guys with us tonight. And I'm not sure what was going to happen next week. I know we may have to change venue, but thanks and have a great Sunday. Thanks, guys.
Good night, everybody.